Hello, everybody. It's the now famous, legendary patron me. In the top right corner, we have Doran over here. You all know Doran, who is at the moment living through one of the most horrendous events of modern history over in Israel. It's hard not to talk about it. Give us an update, Doran. What's happening at the moment? What's it feel like there?
It's crazy. I've got, dead friends, friends that lost complete families, terrible things. The pictures you see on the web and everywhere, it's just atrocities that I know we haven't faced since World War II. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a shock and a trauma, and I think we are heading for an even bigger war. There's a riot in London, right? I mean, London is crazy now because it's on this Friday. There are riots in Jordan, in Egypt, in Lebanon. I think it's like Gog and Magog. It's apocalyptic in some kind of a crazy, weird way, and we're right in the middle of it. And I really want to thank all of you. I mean, your messages and support, it's like so great. And I was just crying, for days. And thank you. Just, you know, thank you for
You're
taking
very
me a
welcome.
little bit out of it, talking about other stuff. And really thank you for everything. It's
Do,
just
do you
great,
think?
to
Do you
know.
think though that what has happened has actually educated the world far more of what has actually been going on? Because I find myself arguing with people where they said, they're Israel's occupying Gaza, and I go, well, no, they gave the Palestinians Gaza. The reason why they're doing all this is because
They,
Hamas want to kill every Jew.
I stopped arguing. I stopped arguing. It's not just us. It's not just us. There's some kind of evil sleeping for dozens of years, and then it lifts his head, and every 50 or 70 years, it's coming. It's always coming. I think it's been like that forever. The Goths in the, I don't know, in the 12th or 13th century, and you had I mean, I started reading history now about Gog and Magog theology and all the little interpretations in different religions. It's crazy. It's like people all over the world, all over history, have always been talking about this two forces, and it could be the Azars, in the, I don't know, 7th century BC, and it could be what we're facing today, or Nazi Germany. It's it's like there's always something, and you always have to whack it. It's a whack-a-mole thing. The question I keep asking myself is, can someone who appreciates prog or jazz fusion like we do, and we can talk about music, do we also have the same values when it comes to things outside music? I mean, can I really? I mean, do you think somebody in Hamas likes prog and then go and slaughter kids? I mean, I'm. It's just a little thing that sort of boils down inside me, and I wrote about this to Andy, and so you shared this, about what is aesthetics and what is humanity. And when we talk about the concept of beauty, and you talk about this so much all the time, I love it. And now it's time to be pragmatic. Where do you put it? I mean, how does it form in the real world? What do we do with all this knowledge and with this concept? You get what I'm saying, right? So
Obviously, we
what
haven't
is
got an
evil?
answer for you,
What is evil? Is
Mm.
I mean, I'm trying to understand what is evil. Is it like Star Wars, like Lord of the Rings evil?
There was a documentary on BBC this week. It was a documentary drama about Jimmy Savile
I don't even know.
called The
I don't
Reckoning,
even know.
and that has
Yeah,
basically left a real.
Yeah. Here in the UK, this which is all of us except for MJ and Doran, this dramatization of Jimmy Savile. Do you know, Doran? Do you know who Jimmy Savile it was? Do you know Jimmy Savile? Yeah. So we had a big celebrity, one of the biggest celebrities in the UK for about 30 or 40 years. And after he died, it was uncovered that he was a paedophile that had abused literally thousands of children. That he'd get access to hospitals, and he'd abused kids with cancer, and he'd got into the morgue. He was involved in all sorts of horror, and it sort of was the powers that be, like the BBC and that, they did know that this was going on, and they'd sort of covered it up a little bit, so that's also been on it. So this idea of evil, it's a heavy subject, the thing that shocked me.
Do you think that people know? Do they know they're evil?
No.
Or do they think they're like
I've always said this. If you, let's say, for example, you're born into a family of car thieves, okay? All the family are car thieves, and you're born into that. And then when you grow up, you become a car thief. And you don't know that's wrong because you've always done it. So when you're brought to task and you're took to court or sent to jail, you honestly believe that you're innocent because what you're doing to you is normal, even though by everyone else's standards it's totally wrong. And I think a lot of that is to do with it's how you're wired, it's how you're brought up. And I think
my wife's just chipped in. She said it's your heart condition, whatever that means.
I think she means if your heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
You're on screen. Explain yourself.
Come on, hey, tell him what you mean. Come on.
Well, in terms of what happened at the weekend, here's two things that I found out, in my research, because I said, I haven't been researching into music, I've been researching into this. Two facts. I started watching the TV channels in Gaza that the kids watch, the kids' TV programs. And it's like little cuddly bears saying kill the Jews all day long. There's cartoons where they're shooting Jews. This is what the little kids watch. That's the first thing I found out. Second thing is 8% of the taxes go to as what they call the slay tax. So if a Palestinian kills a Jew, they get their family supported for the rest of their lives. So all those people on those motorbikes, what sort of, I think what's come across for me, and I think this is what Doran's saying, is I think that the key here is you need freedom of speech and you need freedom of expression. If you've got a society where people can express how they feel through art and music, that is a really healthy thing to have. And I don't know whether, when you go to more totalitarian states, they try and control that expression a little bit. So, bringing Steve in here, he off his own back in his love of music, set up this prog festival. And I remember going to the first one, and he'd got he'd spent all his money, got the huge PA, huge lighting rig, big venue. And how many people did you have at that first one?
About 25.
25. But the thing, and I thought he'd be all upset, but he wasn't. He was like, I can remember sat there and he was a big grin on his face because he pulled it off, and he went, no, this is the beginning. And there's the love of the music and Steve's love of it and doing all this. What you now have is a community. If you come across to it, it's developed into a community. So all those people are there. Now, we've all probably got all different beliefs, haven't we? When everyone's in that room, but everyone's got different beliefs, different backgrounds, and all this type of thing. And yet everybody is brought together by their love of this thing, which
the unifying force.
Yeah, and no one's got control over it. That's the thing. I mean, and it's especially true of prog because nobody wants prog. It's like
what's the name of the festival?
If it wasn't
what's
for
the name of the
like
festival?
Steve, it wouldn't exist. I tell you, the prog is still around because the bands got control of it themselves, like Marillion, and they got the music out themselves. And fanzines got there, and the labels are there, and the festivals are there, and it's run by us. It's not like a government scheme to keep prog alive. They don't give a toss.
Well, especially after they said when we were in isolation, but during COVID, the artist should find another job to do.
Oh
And I
God,
thought
yeah,
that was disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
Like
You
a
know.
real job.
So it's. I think that there's. This is why this is really important, and you know, we have a laugh. We have, you know, everything about, you know, my patron is a laugh. You know, this is the meetings are the best bit. You know, I always love doing this. This one's a bit stranger, Steve, because of Doran, because we all know Doran, and he comes in and we do have this chat, and then I mean, the last time we did it, we were all having a laugh, weren't we? And now, 2 weeks later or whatever,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
one of our
Yeah.
lots, and so what's happened, and you can't. It's almost like you can't stop it from happening. Music brings people together.
Yeah.
It really does, you know. And I know I say quite a lot of controversial things on my YouTube, but I hope that the people who follow me and know me know I'm a nice person. I'm not, you know, I'm not a racist. I'm not against anything like that. I'm just not, you know. But I want to get in and have a discussion about it, because I think it's what keeps our country a brilliant country, basically, you know. Yeah, we've got a less than a minute. I think we're going to have to say bye. We'll get Steve. We'll get you on again.
Okay.
It's been a bit of a funny one, but
Yeah.
yes, there we go. I wasn't watching the clock there. So shall we all go say goodbye to Steve and Doran?
Bye.
We're all
I'll
thinking
see you in March.
And if you
Bye-bye,
ever want to get
Steve.
in touch
Fantastic.
with us, tell
Everyone,
me.
thank you.
See you
Bye.
all. I'm going to stop recording now.